The best guy also went to my favorite. He went to my favorite university, the Georgia Bulldogs, Jalen Carter. He's gonna kill this. Okay, if I was Jalen Carter, I would not even tie cleats on in Indianapolis next week. I would not even think about testing because he's got everything locked up as far as being like his floor is what, pick 3? It's like
Yeah.
Arizona. So I don't think he has anything to gain from going next week. But if he does, which would be again, it would be a bit of an upset. He's gonna post like an all-time combine for a defensive player.
What's crazy is like he has, if you imagine what is like a 9.5 out of strength and a 9.5 out of athletic ability for a 300 pounder, he has both of them. You're not supposed to have both. You can have one or the other and be like a 7 in the other. No, dude, he is legitimately like about as good as you're going to get for a defensive tackle prospect. Like, I don't know, man. He's going to be a terror. I don't even think there's a whole lot to say about Carter. He's to me the best
Yeah.
player in the class.
Mozzie Smith is kind of interesting. He's a nose tackle from Michigan. It's like 6'3", 340, but he was on Bruce Feldman's freak list. And I think when you watch him play a little bit, you can see that. He's not like the most refined player, but you're talking about like someone who's like 330, 340 that might run in like the 4.8s or even hit a 4.7. Come on. That's probably going to get you pushed up to the first round every single time. Clemson, along the defensive line, they have 2 guys to pay attention to. Brian Breesy and Miles Murphy. Breesy plays interior defensive line. Murphy's an edge defender. And I think they both have a lot to gain by how they perform at the combine. Murphy is kind of an interesting guy to me because he's got all the straight line burst and juice. And I was watching him last night, and it's like you from the first 2 or 3 steps out of his stance, you're like, holy shit, this is a first round, this is a top 5 pick. And then he tries to turn the corner. And it's like, okay, well, this is not, something here is not like quite translating. And it's a little stiff in the hips, but then he's also got the closing speed if he can get around the corner. But, I think being able to get around the corner and actually be facing the quarterback is probably the most important part of being an edge rusher. Brian Breesy, though, I got to say, I didn't quite understand when I was watching this film why this guy was slotted in the first round, but he's being slotted in the first round by everyone. So I'm assuming that the NFL must like him a good deal.
I mean, he just kind of, I haven't really seen a whole lot of him, but he kind of just, it seems like one of those 5-star recruit, played at Clemson forever. Or I mean, like started from the jump type of deal. And so we're kind of just like assuming that the talented player is there and that it hasn't been unlocked yet. But I don't know. Yeah, he seems a little bit more one of the more perplexing players in the class.
One of my favorites in this entire class, Tyree Wilson, edge defender from Texas Tech. Have you had a chance to watch any of his film yet?
I know for a fact that is my type of player, dude.
Dude,
big guy, long
different
arms, strong as hell, just a mean player. Like that is my type of guy. I've shilled for like Carlos Dunlap forever. He's like the only good Gator defensive end that's like worth anything. This feels like Carlos Dunlap. Like this feels like that kind of player.
Last edge defender / defensive line, Will Anderson from the University of Alabama. What have you seen from Will Anderson? Just live viewing or watching him across from all 22 tape?
I mean, Anderson's awesome. Like, I feel like they kind of neutered him a little bit this year, playing him so much at 4i when like he's like 240, 245 pounds. He's very clearly going to be outside in the NFL, but like when he gets those outside reps where he can just rip it, like he's just awesome, man. Like, and what's crazy is like, he has the burst, he has the speed and enough of the bend from a 245-pound guy that you would think, but it's the strength for that size. Like he has so much muscle compacted into that body. Like he's just, I have zero concerns that like, you look at 245, you're like, it's a little light for an edge rusher, but like the way he plays, it's like, nah, he plays like he's 260 and you don't even think about it.
The thing with Will Anderson is even with the change of position this year, he still had 10 sacks. Like it's not it's not like the production fell off a cliff or something like that. He's still one of the best defensive players in college football. And honestly, I think the fact that obviously he's not going to play this in the NFL, but the fact that he could play that in college at that size, it shows you he at least has the strength to hold up at the NFL level at bare minimum. So, wow. Good defensive line class, I think, at least at the top. Pretty good.